What if the place designed to protect our children is quietly shaping how they sleep, focus, and feel? Today, we'll explore 5G around schools, what we actually know, what remains unclear, and what parents and educators can do right now. Evidence-based, not fear-based. Let's start with a question. If exposure is fundamentally a function of time and distance, what changes when a network moves closer to where children learn and sleep? You don't need engineering to grasp the consequences. More small cells often means less distance. Less distance often means a higher local intensity. And children aren't just small adults. Their physiology, sleep architecture, and daily device routines make proximity especially relevant. Imagine a typical school day. A small cell sits on a lamppost near the school entrance. Inside, an access point serves several classrooms. Dozens of devices are active during lessons. Exposure is not a single switch. It's a moving equation. Time near transmitters, number of active devices, and where children sit in relation to access points. That equation is manageable when we focus on low-friction habits that nudge distance up and needless nighttime exposure down. What does the evidence say? Research suggests 3 practical points. Cumulative exposure matters, children's sleep matters, and distance is a simple lever that helps. While long-term data on modern 5G near schools are still maturing, precautionary steps with near-zero cost are wise, especially at night and at close range. Decode 5G without math. The promise is higher data rates and lower latency, often achieved by adding smaller transmitters closer to users. For classrooms, the practical variables are simple: proximity to access points, density of active devices, and duration of lessons. If we increase distance where it's easiest and reduce on-body device time, we can improve the exposure equation without losing educational value. General health. Children's general well-being is tightly coupled to sleep quality and daily arousal balance. Better sleep supports immune competence, mood stability, and learning. Nighttime is when the brain consolidates memory and the body repairs. That's why a night strategy, devices in airplane mode, routers off, or scheduled off, is disproportionately impactful. Exercise and movement. Movement regulates arousal, stress chemistry, and sleep drive. A classroom that interleaves short movement breaks with device use can help children maintain attention and reduce the impulse to keep devices on the body. Practical takeaway: build micro-movement into lessons and seat children farther from access points when possible. Nutrition. Sleep and circadian timing interact with food choices and glucose control. Poor sleep can amplify cravings and blunt attention the next day. When parents implement a night strategy, many report easier mornings and steadier energy. The point is not perfection. It's compounding small wins. Fitness and performance. Cognitive performance is environment sensitive. Reducing on-body device time during long tasks, using wired connections where feasible, and placing access points away from young learners creates conditions for steadier attention and fewer distractions. Classroom ergonomics apply to networks too. Position for function. Aging. For adults and educators, the same principles support long-term vitality. Prioritize sleep, minimize on-body exposure at night, keep routers at a distance from bedrooms, and schedule off hours when no one benefits from constant wireless activity. Problem solving. Treat this like any systems problem. Name the variables: time, distance, density, choose levers, night strategy, wired first for long sessions, seating layout, and iterate with feedback. The solution is a playbook, not a single rule. Mental and spiritual health. Attention, mood, and resilience depend on sleep quality and nervous system regulation. Families who adopt a simple nighttime routine, phones in airplane mode outside bedrooms, often notice calmer evenings. Teachers who reduce on-body device dependency during lessons often notice cleaner attention windows, frequencies, and energy. The conversation about EMF is often polarized. Our approach is pragmatic, maintain function, learning, communication, while trimming the easiest exposure sources, close range, long duration, night. It's the difference between shouting about problems and quietly fixing them. Spirituality. Creating a home and school environment that protects sleep and learning is an act of care. Simplicity, distance, bedtime routines, and wise placement supports presence, attention, and human connection. Let's make this concrete with scenarios. Scenario 1. The bedroom. A phone charges on a nightstand inches from a child's head. Radios active. Notifications pinging. Low friction fix. Keep the phone in airplane mode overnight or charge it in another room. If an alarm is needed, airplane mode preserves it. If a parent needs emergency contact, use Do Not Disturb exceptions while still minimizing background activity. Routers can be scheduled off at night, either via the admin panel or a simple outlet timer. Scenario 2. The classroom. The access point is mounted directly above a group of desks. Low friction fix. Relocate the access point away from head height and high-density seating, or adjust seating so younger children are farther away. Favor wired connections for fixed teacher devices or media stations. When possible, batch downloads, offline use, so radios can rest during focused tasks. Scenario 3. The study desk. A laptop sits on a lap, phone in pocket, radios active for hours. Low friction fix. Place the laptop on a desk, use a stand to increase distance, and prefer Ethernet during long sessions. If Ethernet isn't available, create habits. Radios on to fetch resources, radios off or sleep mode during reading and writing blocks. A brief science detour, still Birkenbiel simple. Exposure is not a moral category, it's a variable. If we change the inputs, distance, time, density, we change the output. At night, sleep processes are sensitive. During the day, attention ebbs and flows. Adjusting the environment helps the brain do its job. Common questions. Is 5G uniquely dangerous? Modern deployments place more small cells closer to people. That proximity changes the exposure equation. Whether 1G is categorically worse is the wrong question. The right question is, how can we reduce unnecessary close-range, long-duration exposure while keeping function? Do I need to buy special gadgets? No. Start free. Move, schedule, place. Distance costs nothing. Airplane mode is free. Outlet timers are a few euros. If budget allows later, consider wired-first setups for fixed stations. Will this hurt learning? On the contrary. A classroom that uses downloads and offline reading blocks can actually deepen focus. A home that protects sleep improves next-day learning. We're not abandoning technology. We're using it more wisely. A practical framework for parents and schools. Define. Map your touch points, bedrooms, study desks, classroom seating, access points, small cells near entrances. Identify where distance is minimal and time is long. Decide. Choose low-friction changes, airplane mode at night, router off hours, seating adjustments, wired first for long sessions, batch downloads, device stands. Do. Implement one change per week. Simplicity wins because it sticks. Week-by-week starter plan. Week 1. Bedrooms. Put phones in airplane mode at night and move chargers away from the bed. If needed, leave emergency exceptions on Do Not Disturb. Week 2. Home router. Schedule off hours, for example, 2300 to 600. If scheduling is hard, use a simple outlet timer. Week 3. Study desk. Add a stand to increase device distance and a habit. For deep work blocks, radios off. For syncing, radios on. Week 4. Classroom. Review where the access point sits. If it's directly over desks, relocate or reseat younger children farther away. Favor wired for fixed devices. Week 5. Policy hygiene. Establish a sleep mode culture at home and school. Quiet radios at night. Batch downloads. No on-body charging. Week 6. Audit and adjust. What felt easy? Double down. What felt hard? Replace with an alternative. For example, preloading lessons to reduce live streaming. Integration across the 9 holistic dimensions. General health, better sleep, better immune tone, mood regulation, and learning capacity. Exercise, movement breaks plus device distance, steadier arousal and attention. Nutrition, improved sleep, better appetite regulation and breakfast choices. Fitness and performance, wired first for long tasks, fewer distractions, deeper focus. Aging, adults benefit from the same night strategy and distance habits. Problem solving, simple K, PIS, night mode adoption, router schedule, wired usage rate. Mental and spiritual health, calmer evenings, clearer mornings, more present attention. Frequencies and energy, reduce the simplest exposure first, close range and nighttime. Spirituality, a caring environment supports presence, learning, and connection. What we still don't know, long-term, high-quality prospective data on modern small-cell deployments around schools remain limited. That gap matters and should be addressed by research. Meanwhile, low-cost mitigation that preserves function is prudent and proportional. What to measure? Parents can note bedtime consistency, sleep latency, and morning mood. Teachers can note attention windows, transition friction, and off-task behavior. These observational metrics keep the process practical and honest. Obstacles and how to handle them. Resistance. We've always done it this way. Translate benefits into daily wins. Better sleep, calmer mornings, fewer mid-lesson disruptions. Complexity. I'm not technical. Offer one-button steps, airplane mode at night, timer on router, move the access point, use a stand. Inertia. We'll do it later. Choose one micro step today. Move the charger out of the bedroom. Frequently overlooked opportunities. Batching. Download lessons and videos before class so devices can rest during discussions. Zoning. Place routers away from resting and reading areas. Center them in transition spaces instead. Defaults. Set default device behaviors. Sleep quickly. Radios off on lid close, so the environment helps the habit. A concise parent-school checklist. Bedrooms. Phones in airplane mode. No on-body charging. Routers off or scheduled. Study. Device on a desk/stand. Wired first for long sessions. Radios off during deep work. Classroom. Access points away from head height. Seat younger kids farther. Batch downloads. Policy. Weekly check that schedules still run. Reinforce sleep mode culture. Let's close with a simple truth. We learn best when the brain feels safe, rested, and curious. None of these steps require fear. They require clarity, simplicity, and iteration. We keep what works, we drop what doesn't, and we protect the nights so the days go better. Important medical disclaimer. The information provided in this content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on scientific research, expert knowledge, and holistic health principles gathered from various sources. However, this information does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, cannot replace professional medical consultation, should not be used as a substitute for qualified health care, may not be appropriate for your specific health condition. Critical requirements. Always consult with qualified healthcare professionals before making health decisions. Seek immediate medical attention for urgent health concerns. Discuss any health changes or new symptoms with your doctor. Ensure any supplements or lifestyle changes are appropriate for your individual situation. Consider your personal medical history, current medications, and health status. Limitation of liability. The authors and publishers of this content assume no responsibility for any adverse effects or consequences resulting from the use of any information, suggestions, or procedures described herein. Individual results may vary, and health outcomes depend on numerous factors beyond the scope of this content. Professional medical care. This content encourages and emphasizes the importance of maintaining regular contact with qualified healthcare providers for proper medical care, diagnosis, and treatment of any health conditions.